Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Wendy, and this is Ashes to Indigo. Today, we're going to be doing an art project. We're going to be making some ghost art. So please, sit back, relax, and have some fun. And thank you very much for your support and spending a little of your time with me today. Ghost art or decor is all the rage this year. If you've had a chance to venture out to any of the craft stores or home goods stores, ghost merchandise is absolutely everywhere. Some of it is also quite expensive. On the low end, some art pieces are selling for $45, all the way through to $400 and more. When I have an easel, canvas, and paints at my disposal, I just couldn't justify spending that kind of money on mass-produced art. A fun trend I've been seeing all over social media is people going to thrift stores, buying a rural autumnal scene, and adding in ghosts of their own or other Halloween characters such as witches, black cats, or bats. My local Goodwill was fresh out of rural paintings, so I went into the stash of old artwork I've kept for over 10 years, and I found this lovely tree painting that I'm going to spruce up a little bit, add a few pops of color, highlight the tree a little bit more, and then begin to add in my own ghost. When I'm finished, I'll give you a look at the fresh backdrop for our own ghost art. I wasn't too familiar with painting ghosts, so I had to do a couple sketches to figure out how I wanted my ghost to look in my painting. Once I had a rough idea of how I wanted my ghost to look, I began throwing down some paint, beginning with the outline, trying to figure out how I wanted its little arm to look outstretched, then adding some highlights, a few rudimentary beginnings of shadows to make the drapery look somewhat believable. Because I was so unfamiliar with painting ghosts, it somehow took me about 45 minutes just to finish this one little character. It seems like it would be a really quick thing to throw on a canvas, and in some respects it absolutely could be if you didn't want to add as much detail as I wanted. But still, the fact that it took me 45 minutes just to paint this little guy was really humbling. Now, if all you wanted was a little ghost shape hiding in whatever thrifted painting you might find, or even if you may have a painting such as this that you've been hoarding in your old art stash, it could be a very easy little blob of paint with some eyes and a little mouth. Since my ghost was going to be in the foreground, I decided I wanted to try and get fancy with it and add the little outstretched arm and probably more folds in the drapery than I really needed. But anyway, here we are, painting away, figuring it out as I go. There's an artist I follow on YouTube and Instagram. Her name is Lauris Beating, and she paints exclusively ghosts. So I was trying to make my little ghost reminiscent of something you might find in one of her paintings. I do a terrible job of this, but anyway, I should give credit to her because she, of course, was my inspiration for this project. I highly encourage you to go check out her art at LaurasBeatingart at YouTube. Everything I used to make this project can be found on Amazon for relatively inexpensive. Or you can go the thrifted route and find a thrifted painting and just use your basic art supplies that you may have at home. I just have some finishing touches to add, and of course, I had to figure out what goes in its little outstretched hand, and I chose a stick of cotton candy. Perfection was never the goal for this project, but having fun absolutely was. And I hope you've enjoyed painting with me, and thank you so much for your support. I hope the end result will give you at least a little chuckle. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you again in the next video.